I am Lauren Parsons. I am the Director of Communications and Strategic Initiatives at Bluegrass Community Foundation. And one of the fun projects I get to work on is the Good Giving Challenge. So I think this is my fourth challenge, I believe. It's my favorite thing that I get to do at the Community Foundation. So we are here to help and make it fun for everyone. If you have a question as we are going through, you can drop it in the Q&A box down there in your Zoom toolbar. You can also drop other comments in the chat, but it's easy to keep track of when questions are answered and addressed if you submit them in the Q&A, because then I can check them off once we get through them. And as we go through the webinar, we're going to, I have the matches section sort of like early, so we can do a quick Q&A session after that, because I don't want to get to the end of my time and not be able to address your questions on that. I'm going to kind of skip through some of these early things quickly, just because we've already covered them in introductory webinars, and I want to make sure we have enough time. So just as a background, if anybody doesn't know who Bluegrass Community Foundation is, what we're doing, we are a foundation for the community. We build vibrant, generous, equitable, and engaged communities across Central and Appalachia, Kentucky. We steward over $220 million in charitable assets, and we have 800 charitable funds. Those are families, businesses, nonprofits, organizations. We work with anybody who has charitable intent. One of the things that we do to help build generosity and philanthropy in our community is hosting the Good Giving Challenge. So what is it? You all are here, I'm sure you know, but we make it just as a community-wide fundraiser that makes giving to nonprofits easy and fun. Since 2011, it has raised nearly $20 million for local nonprofits, and it launches every year on Giving Tuesday. I will send these slides out to everyone. So the main things I want to point to on this slide are the fun fact that a quarter of donors were giving to a new nonprofit for the first time last year. So the Good Giving Challenge is a great way to reach new donors and just increase your donor reach there. So a lot of donors give to multiple organizations at once. So it's a really effective way for you to reach a new audience. The average gift size last year was $157, and the average raise per nonprofit was just over $12,000. You all probably already know Giving Tuesday is on November 28th. The Good Giving Challenge will kick off at 9 a.m. that morning, and then it will run through Friday, December 1st at 11:59 p.m. It used to be like 2 months long, then 6 weeks, then a month. And then when I started, it was just over maybe just a week, but we have just tightened it up to that sort of business week. And the nonprofits last year really enjoyed it. So I liked it too. The benefits for participating: it is a seamless donation experience for donors. Like I said, a lot of them give to multiple organizations at once, so it's just really easy to do. The collective marketing power, there's a buzz across the communities about the Good Giving Challenge during that time. And of course, the matches and prizes make it really fun. Just touching a little bit on that donor experience. It is really easy for donors to give during the Good Giving Challenge. I love my mother, but she is not technology savvy. However, it is very easy for her. She gives during the Good Giving Challenge every year. She even did it on her phone last year. So I love my mom, but if Rhonda can do it, anybody can do it. So we try to make it as easy as possible. There's they also get that, I think I said, that immediate tax receipt from BGCF. They know that there's a good chance that their gifts will be matched by different match opportunities and prizes, and increase the giving power that they have normally. And there's also that collective impact of being part of something bigger, and that viral nature of the Good Giving Challenge during that Giving Tuesday week. The collective marketing power: we have 195 organizations participating in the challenge this year. So all of those donors, all of those supporters are coming to one site. You all will be linked there. You also get the marketing support from BGCF and Smiley Pete, who has been a partner with us since the beginning. We have a really robust marketing campaign. We typically start that right after Election Day, just because, the field of advertising and marketing is pretty crowded up till that date. People are kind of thinking about other things. So it's a nice shift, I think, from election rhetoric to giving back and helping our community. So we always start our campaign right after Election Day. We have radio, TV, digital, print. We have the print guide, which you all have already submitted your materials for. That will be sent out a little bit earlier this year just because of print deadlines. We want to make sure everyone gets it in time. We also have a lot of active social media content, and then we share lots of ideas with you all to help build your own campaigns. This year, we have over $600,000 up for grabs with matches and prizes. We have multiple, this says daily match challenges, but we have more than one match challenge going on each day. We also have those really fun social media sweepstakes that help just increase the viral nature of the Good Giving Challenge. Just a little bit of the mechanics about how donations work. I know that you all have all done the other webinar from our general counsel, Haley Cunningham, and she goes through probably a lot about this on her webinar. And this is outlined in the rules and procedures, the policies that you all have already signed. But donations for the challenge must be made on bggives.org. A lot of times donors will have a check. They want to give a check or stock or other things. That's just too complicated for this. If you get a check from a donor, say thank you, cash it, deposit it, and then, it unfortunately won't count towards your BG Gives total for that year, this year. So encourage all your donors to go on bggives.org and make their gifts that way in order to be eligible for matches and to add to your fundraising total. They have the option to pay by credit card, ACH, or if they have a donor advised fund at BGCF, they can make a donation that way. The site is secure. They're really there shouldn't be any issues there. So it is something that they can do confidently. All the gifts made during the Good Giving Challenge are 100% tax deductible. And as you know, you can't do any quid pro quo, offer, a tote bag in exchange for a donation. The minimum donation during the Good Giving Challenge is just $10. We try to make giving easy, accessible, and fun to everybody. And there is no maximum donation. You all would be surprised at the size of some of the donations that come in during the challenge. So there really is no limit to the generosity that's possible. Just a little bit about the fees. There is a 5.3% fee assessed to all donations using credit card and ACH, except for the donor advised fund donations that are made. Just because that's just like an interfund transfer. Those don't actually have to go through Stripe, through the site, all that. Just note that these fees do not go to Smiley Pete or BGCF. They cover just like Stripe fee. It's just like any, online donation that you see. It's pretty standard these days. I think even restaurants are charging like a credit card fee, unfortunately. So it's just the name of the game now. But the good news is 80%, the vast majority of donors do cover those fees during checkout. So if it's like, they're making a donation of $100, their donation becomes what, $105.30. It's really not a big deal. Most of those donors cover those fees so that you won't feel that impact on the end. Just as a heads up for your donors, if they are confused, and we have had donors call us and say like, why is Bluegrass Community Foundation showing up on my bank statement or my credit card statement? That is because all of the gifts are really a gift to Bluegrass Community Foundation, and then we make a grant out to you after the Good Giving Challenge. So it's kind of complicated, but that's how it will show up on their fund statement. So they shouldn't get confused about that. And then how it works is after the donations come through, the challenge ends on Friday, December 1st at 11:59 p.m. We have to wait about 2 to 3 weeks for all those charges to clear, all of the credit card statements, all of the ACH transfers. Sometimes gifts can bounce. Sometimes it happens and I don't understand it. Sometimes a donor will contest the donation to their credit card company, and then it will get revoked from your balance. I don't know. It happens. So we have to wait about 2 to 3 weeks for all those charges to clear. And then that's when our finance team starts doing the calculations on all of our matches. So they don't want to match a gift to a gift that will fail. So they have to wait for those to clear. They start doing, I don't know how they do it, but they do it. They're the Excel wizards. So they start calculating all those matches. And then once that is concluded, then that's when we process those checks. You will get a letter with your check that has the total you raised during the Good Giving Challenge. It will have a breakdown of all the matches and prizes. It'll have a line item for each match. And then it'll have a grand total. The fees will also be deducted from if you have any to take out at that time. So you will get a letter with all that broken down, and those always mail the following year. Especially new organizations, they want to know when they're going to get their money, and it is always the following year. We say this from the beginning, before registration starts, and every year I get so many emails and phone calls and questions about when the checks will go out. It will be in January of 2023. We can't promise a certain date because I'll tell you, there was one year our whole staff was out with the flu. We start getting into the holidays. I take off. A lot of people are out. A lot of nonprofits are even sort of closed during that time between the holidays. I take off time to be with my kids. So a lot of people are in and out. It is always the following year. When the challenge was 2 months long, it was probably February when those checks went out. We used to have the donation site open until the end of the year. We stopped doing that just because we want to get those checks processed to you as soon as possible. It will be January. That says end of January 2023. That's my bad. That should be 2024. I'm in denial that time is moving that quickly. So I will fix that before I send these slides out to you. But people wanted to hit their books the end of this year. It won't happen. It's going to be the beginning of next year. And that's just, once you're in the challenge year after year, it sort of balances itself out. So as far as expectations, what can you expect from us? We have support. BGCF is here to support. Neon One is also available to support you with any questions you have about the site. We offer toolkits and trainings like this one. We'll have, I'm going to schedule, I think, a weekly Zoom to do on Thursdays, I think, at this time, because I work from home this day. It's very easy to do for me at this time. And we'll cover a different topic every week. We'll go through some of the toolkits that are available on the site that we send out in the emails. We'll cover some of the topics and those things. We try to make it really straightforward, and there should be no secrets with this. So you will get frequent emails with news and announcements. Make sure you're getting those. We also have a sign up site for MailChimp, so you can sign up, add other people in your organization to our mailing list. What we do is to build that email list, we take all of the users that are affiliated with your organization from BG Gives, we export those and then upload those lists into MailChimp. So if you're wondering why somebody in your organization hasn't been getting those emails, is because they weren't a user in bggives.org. So there are 195 organizations this year, so it's a lot of people to keep track of. So that's just how we do it. We offer the giving portal through bggives.org, lots of promotion, and then of course the matches and prizes. What do we expect from you? Please read your emails. Please build a strategy, use social media, involve your board. I was at an event last night and I heard somebody tell me he's on a board of an organization that's in the challenge, and they had a board meeting and they're already talking about their strategy. And I said, that makes my heart so happy to hear. It is never too soon to start engaging your board in your strategy. Engage your donors, share your URL. That's that bggives.org link. We encourage you to update your own website with that link. Be sure to include it in your email campaigns, in your social media posts, things like that. Get creative. We love to see the creativity that occurs during the Good Giving Challenge, and try to have fun. I know it's a ton of work. It's a ton of work on our end too, but it is very rewarding to see all that hard work pay off. All right, so now we're going to get into the matches and prizes. So for organizations that are returning and participated last year, I would say 99% of these, maybe 98%, are the same as last year. I try to make it, I know it can be complicated to understand these. I was a PR and poli-sci major. I am not a math whiz, but so I try to make these as straightforward and as easy to understand as possible. I know numbers can be a challenge. So a lot of these are the same as last year. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so on the opening day of the Good Giving Challenge, that is Giving Tuesday, November 28th, Murray Foundation is once again coming in with a $100,000 match pool. And how they like to do this is they like to have a pro rata match pool. And what this means is from the start of the Good Giving Challenge at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, November 28th through 11:59 p.m. that night. So for that full day, there is a $100,000 pro rata match pool. So that means the percentage of what your organization raises during that first day of the challenge, you will receive that percentage of the $100,000 match. We have an example. I will send out also just a rundown of all the matches and prizes in a one-pager like PDF. But we have like a little example for you here. So usually it's more, but if, for example, if $500,000 is raised that day and your organization raises $10,000, it would then receive 2% of the Murray Foundation match. So that means you would get $2,000 as a match. You know, this all depends on the math. I looked at last year, the report from last year. It looked like the maximum match during this day was for this challenge was about $2,700. And, you know, some organizations, I mean, did maybe receive $50 or less, but it just depends on the percentage of the total raise that day. The great news is, and I think what the Murray family likes about this is that everybody gets a match during this day, no matter, as long as you have a donation come in on that first day of the challenge, everyone will get match dollars that day. So that is the Murray Foundation $100,000 match pool. The other thing we have going on this day is the Grooveolution. That's the Given to the Groove fund. They have a $11,111 match prize pool. So how this works is between 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. we will pull 11 random prizes of $1,011. There's too many 11s here. It's confusing for me. So we will, what we do is we have a system on BG Gives where we can set a time frame. So I think we do like 1 hour, and it will randomly generate a gift that is made during that time. And we will announce those all. They will all be on the leaderboard on BG Gives. We have a prize leaderboard, so those will all be there. And then we'll also do a social media post the next day that has all those winners as well. So the Grooveolution, they love the number 11. I think that is clear. And so we love to get creative with them. And that's how we're awarding their prize pool. On Wednesday, November 29th, is once again the McAdam Family Foundation $25,000 match. So that goes from 9 a.m. to 11:59 a.m. And that's a dollar for dollar match up to $50. That one's very straightforward. Then we also have that day, we have the Mitchell Family Foundation and BGCF $30,000 fast break challenge. So that goes from noon until basically midnight on Wednesday. So the first 30 nonprofits that raise $3,000 or more through at least 2 donations will receive a $1,000 prize. So that's the key. How this used to go was it did not have to be through 2 donations. So organizations would just line up one donor of $3,000. And then it really got down to like tenths of seconds to try to figure out on our end. So it does have to be through at least 2 donations. So it could be split. It could be more than 2 donations. It's really how you want to do it. I mean, it could be a donation of $2,999. Well, $90, I guess, and then a donation of $10. It does not matter how that breaks down, but they need to raise at least $3,000 from noon on Wednesday, and then they get that $1,000 prize. And once again, we will plug all those in on the prize leaderboard, and we'll also have a social media post for those. Then once again, on Thursday, November 30th, BGCF is sponsoring the $30,000 endowment challenge. So BGCF, we really encourage nonprofits to build those endowments to sort of save to have a rainy day fund, I guess. So we encourage endowment building through this challenge. How this works is every nonprofit with 50 or more donors of at least $25 will be entered in a drawing for one of three $2,500 endowment prizes. The nonprofit with the highest number of donors contributing $25 or more will win a $10,000 endowment prize. The nonprofit with the second highest number of donors contributing $25 or more will win a $7,500 endowment prize. And then the nonprofit with the third highest number of donors contributing $25 or more will win a $5,000 endowment prize. So basically there's first, second, and third with three different amounts, $10,000, $7,500, and $5,000. And then we now have a drawing for three endowment prizes of $2,500. And we will do that drawing on that following day, that Friday. So we'll do like a Facebook Live, Instagram Live of that. And then we also, of course, will post that on the prize leaderboard. Also on Thursday, November 30th, for some of the organizations that are not vying for the endowment challenge, we have the Angel Levis Foundation Arts and Community $15,000 match. So that goes from 1 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. This is a 50 cents on the dollar match for gifts up to $250 to nonprofits in the arts category, arts and culture category, and the community categories. And then we also have the Traditional Bank Human Services $15,000 match. This also goes from 1 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. And this is a 50 cents on the dollar match for gifts up to $250 to nonprofits in the human services category. So last year, and I think the previous year, there was no limit on that match. But we have in a discussion with the sponsors and our team, we do now have a limit on that. On those gifts up to $250. So I think that's that would be a match 50 cents on the dollar up to $250. That gift could become what, $375. And those are the categories that your organization self-selected during registration. That's how they'll be marked in the print guide. And so that's how those categories are set. But that aligns with, we like to work with donors and align their passions and their mission statements for philanthropy with some elements of the Good Giving Challenge and find where those things overlie. And so this is why these groups are matching donations in these categories. Then on the final day of the Good Giving Challenge, we have once again the Marksbury Family Foundation $60,000 match. That goes from 9 a.m. to 8:59 p.m. And that's a 50 cents on the dollar match on gifts up to $500. Then we also have the Thompson R. Bryant Jr. and Betty R. Bryant Fund $25,000 bedtime match. That starts at 9 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. the end of the challenge. And that's gifts up to $100 will be matched dollar for dollar. Every day of the challenge will also have these happy hours. So these are from 4 to 6 each day, and they are sponsored by Mason Investments and BGCF. So Mason Investments will be matching the first $2,500 in donations, 50 cents on the dollar on gifts up to $100. And then also BGCF will be randomly selecting a donation during those timeframes and giving those groups a $500 prize. Last year, I think we did $2,000 prizes. So we're switching up this year, kind of doing a mix of both. There are also these returning county specific matches. The Clark County Community Foundation has a $255,000 match. This match pool opens Tuesday, November 28th at 9 a.m. and lasts until the pool is exhausted. And this is a dollar for dollar match up to $8,500 per Clark County nonprofit. In previous years, it was a little bit less, and then they gave out additional prizes later. This year, they have decided just to do a max up to $8,500 per Clark County nonprofit. So that is a little bit different. And then to be eligible for this match, nonprofits must be located in Clark County and use funds raised exclusively in Clark County to be eligible for this match. We also have another county-specific match. This is the Hudson Ellis Fund $20,000 match pool. This is a 50 cents on the dollar match for Boyle County nonprofits that raise at least $1,000. This is capped at $5,000 for each organization, and it matches. I'm so sorry, I don't. I know you all won't believe it, but another dog had the audacity to walk in front of our home just now. So I'm so sorry. I should have also apologized in advance for my dog. I should have known better. So this matches individual donations from unique donors up to $1,000, and this match lasts until the pool is exhausted. Also every day, as I mentioned, we have these social media sweepstakes. These are $250 BGCF giving cards. Really, it's a prize that we add to your total. So we encourage nonprofits to encourage your fans to follow BGCF, like and follow us during the Good Giving Challenge. And we do every day a fun post on social media, and then we'll have the rules for each challenge, how to enter. So usually it's you need to comment. There's usually a prompt like, why do you love the Good Giving Challenge? What organization do you want to win $250? Things like that. And then that person has to follow us. We have ways, there's a program we use to figure that out. And then we will randomly draw one of those comments each day, and then we'll post that the following day as well. Those usually go all day, like until midnight that day. So yeah, that's an easy way, no donation required, to win an additional $250 to add to your total. I am going to pause here. I don't see any questions in the chat or in the Q&A regarding specific details about the matches. I see somebody did ask if they will get a breakdown of the different matches and prizes, how much they get. Yes, that breakdown, that letter will be included in with your check, and that will be mailed out in January. So we do provide a breakdown of how much you receive for each match. What we never do. The dog came back. What we never do is disclose if a specific donation was matched. We don't do that. We won't tell donors that. We also never share when a match pool is exhausted, just because, one, we don't know. As I've said, sometimes we have to wait a couple weeks for those checks to clear. Like, we don't know in real time really when it's exhausted. So even if you looked at like on a match for a certain day, you don't know, how do I explain this? If there's like a $25,000 match pool, like you couldn't really even look at the donation total from that day and say, oh, well, now it's increased by $25,000. Like the match pool is exhausted. Like that's not necessarily how it works, because you don't know how much each of the donations were, and if they've maxed out. I mean, if there's a match, a dollar for dollar up to $50, but if somebody gives $1,000, then all of that $1,000 doesn't go towards that match being matched. Does that make sense? Because the match max was only $50. So it's really hard to judge that in real time. We don't calculate things that way. We don't calculate them in real time. So we never share which of those are met or matched in real time. Okay, I'm going to move on because I don't see any questions. What we will do is I will send out, once I can get this exported and uploaded to YouTube, I will send it out in an email, and we'll also send the slides from this and the breakdown of the matches and prizes in a separate document that you can, it's easy to share with your board and things like that. So we'll make it really easy. That might come out tomorrow. So just some overview of tips for success. Again, I have like 15 more minutes. So basically the gist of it is what you get out of the challenge is what you put in. I know it can be a lot of work, but a lot of it you can do in advance, and then during the event you can just kind of monitor what's going on and kind of have fun when it's going on. One thing we encourage everyone to do, we send these links out in our emails. They're at the bottom of every email. We have links to these toolkits, but they're also uploaded in BG Gives in the Resource Center. So when you log in, you'll see this dashboard. If you click on this tab here on the Resource Center, and then once you're in the Resource Center, you can filter here by subject, and there's a subject for BGCF toolkits. These are all updated, except I need to update the new matches and prizes. And then once I get the final PDF of the print guide. I'll also upload that there. So I encourage everyone to go download these. As I mentioned, it's never too early to start engaging your board. Sometimes board members take multiple times to be told things before it makes sense, or they, absorb it. So I would download those, read those through. And then, as I said, in subsequent Zoom webinars, we will go over some of the content in those. I'm not going to just read them out loud, but I really encourage everyone to go and download those toolkits and start reading them and share them. Somebody did ask a question, and I want to make sure I get to it before I have to end the webinar. And she asks, can I go over what qualifies as a unique donor or a unique donation? So I will clarify that all of these matches, I'm going to go back just to illustrate what I'm talking about here. For some of these, like the Marksbury match would be a good one for this, or I'll do the bedtime match because that's dollar for dollar up to $100. So for all of these matches like this, not like the Clark County match where it's, the organization, it's like dollar for dollar up to $8,000, and it's not a match on an individual gift, if that makes sense. The donations do need to be unique. And what we mean by that is I couldn't go in and give $100 to an organization, the same organization, multiple times and be matched each time. So it's per donor, per organization. But I can go in, okay, I'm just looking at the print guide, and I'm going to go in alphabetical order. I'm not calling anybody out, but the first organization is A Chance to Dance. So I can't go in during the bedtime match and make like 10 separate $100 gifts to A Chance to Dance and be matched all 10 times. I can make one gift to A Chance to Dance and be matched one time, $100. And I can also, at the same time, make a gift to A Sense of Place for $100, and that can also be matched if the pool is still open and all that. So does that make sense? So like I can give $1,000 to 10 organizations, and those can all be matched. But I can't give to an organization multiple times during a match period and be matched for each gift. And I will also add each match pool is calculated separately. So we only look on this day when we're calculating, what the finance team, not me, when they are calculating the Marksbury Foundation match, they are pulling those donations from 9 a.m. to 8:59 p.m. on Friday, December 1st, and they're using that to calculate that. So if I give to A Chance to Dance during every match period, I start on Tuesday, I give again on Wednesday, and some donors do this. I mean, a lot of donors give multiple times to an organization. They'll have their their giving budget for the week, and they'll sparse it out to maximize each match. And if I give again Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday afternoon, Friday morning again, each of those separate match pools could be eligible for a match. It's not a unique match like for the whole week. I guess that's what I mean. So if I give to A Chance to Dance on Tuesday, I can get a match. If I give on Wednesday during that morning, I can get a match. If I give on Thursday afternoon, I can get a match. If I give again on Friday, I can get a match. What I can't do is give multiple times during a match period and get matched. And I hope I've not added more confusion. I hope that answered the question. I would encourage, if somebody has a follow-up, just drop that in the Q&A and I'll get to it. So those donations do need to be unique, but is unique to each match period, not for the entirety of the Good Giving Challenge. And it doesn't max out for each organization, for the whole week, if that makes sense. It has to be for each individual match challenge, because that's when we pull those donations. I hope this makes sense. please ask a clarifying question in the Q&A box if that is clear as mud. And we can go over this again in subsequent Zooms. I'm happy to explain as much as I need to, or give me a call. Just some brief steps for success. We encourage everyone to set your own goal. What are your goals for the week? Is it going to be total raised? Is it going to be a total number of gifts? Is it to reach X number of new donors? Set a goal, sit down with your giving team, your board, and talk about what is success to you during the Good Giving Challenge. We also encourage you to secure your own matches. A lot of you know who some of your big donors are. You know that you can look at your past donor list and say, oh my gosh, well, this person, they usually give us like $10,000 or it doesn't have to be that much. It could be 5,000, 1,000, be any amount. And if you can leverage the power of that gift to get more gifts, and that also gives you something else to promote, you can use that as your own match. And how that would work is a lot of those donors will go in and make their gift on bggives.org too. They could go in during the course of that week and say, hey, I know that they've met this match on Friday. I'm going to go in and give during the Marksberry Foundation match, and I'm going to get matched on my match. So a lot of donors do that as well. And really, if you get a match from a donor, it's really between you and the donor how you want that to be paid. Some will send in, a check after the challenge. Some will make a gift online during the challenge. We won't keep track of that fundraising match for you. There are tools that you can use on your profile to help keep track of that match. I don't know that we'll have time to get into them today, but I will address that in a subsequent webinar. But this is sort of just a high-level overview, but we really encourage you to secure your own matches. Most of the organizations that have a lot of success during the challenge do that. Also, get creative, look at those toolkits, get on social media, search for like the hashtags, Good Giving Challenge, hashtag BGGives. You can see previous year social media posts and get some ideas of how you want to construct your strategy for this year. We will also share, as you can see, this is sort of like a sneak peek of the print guide cover. We have a lot of the same elements as last year. That rainbow is the same, the fonts are the same, all these things, the stripes, there's cute stars. We will share all these elements as images. And I will also cover how to use an easy graphic design program. It's called Canva to create social media posts. So I would encourage you to get creative. It's a fun time to stretch that muscle a little bit and do something a little different. And also tell your story. How these donations can help you get that message across, share how they will help your organization, share the impact that you have in our community. It's a great time to get creative, tell your story. Also be sure to tap into your networks. If you are a returning organization and you haven't already, you can go into BG Gives and download a list of previous year donors that is exported as a spreadsheet. I would encourage you to look at that, really mine that information look at donors who gave to you multiple times. You can, see how much they gave you and really incorporate them into your communication strategy for this year. If you haven't already uploaded them into your email program, do that. You can send them a postcard. You can do some really inexpensive things with that information to help communicate to them what your goals are for this year's Good Giving Challenge. And this just know your donors. I kind of touched on this already, but really know who those donors are. And if you are looking at those matches and prizes, line up those donors with your goals for different matches. I know some organizations, they really want that Mitchell Foundation Fast Break Challenge. And so they'll line up some donors who are giving at that level to make those gifts for them during that match. So I would encourage you also to personalize the ask. And that's kind of touching back on that last point. Know who your donors are, know what their giving abilities are, maybe have a conversation with them and reach out to them individually and say, hey, it would really mean a lot to us if you could give at this level, or maybe they could up it this year, who knows? So personalize that ask and start early. It's never too early to start. As I said, a lot of groups are still already engaging their board, so that's a good idea. One key is to really make your bggives.org profile very robust. Be sure to go in there. I will record a separate demo. I won't have time to do it today. A separate demo of how to update some things. It's very easy to do. You can update your bggives.org profile until the challenge starts. At that time, on November 28th at 9 a.m., you won't be able to make any more updates to your BGGives profile. So you need to do all those in advance. You can upload photos, you can add videos, and that's just copying and pasting a link from like a YouTube video or a Vimeo. Those videos have to be public in order to show up on your profile. It's very easy to do. Link to your website, your social media pages. And I think the really key thing to do is add those donation levels. And I will be able to show you in the demo how that looks, but it is important because it will, when the challenge starts, like right now, there is a button that says fundraise, and we'll have a separate webinar about how to create fundraising pages. But that's just a tool that your donors, your board, your staff, you can use to have like a separate goal for different maybe it's an amount that they want to raise. Maybe they have a certain project they're fundraising for. That's another story. I'm talking about their donation levels. But when the challenge starts, that will be a donate button. So when they click on that button, if you have donation levels pre-populated, it'll say $10, $25, $50. And you can say what $10 gets you, what $25 can do for you, what $50 can do for you. It can be a cute name of like, you know, the level of giving that you want to say, or it can say like, it will provide X for, you know, X things for X number of people, you know, it'll plant 10 trees. It will, you know, allow us to provide a medical test for a person in need, things like that. You can get really specific. And I think that's a really nice way to show people. A donor might maybe go in, okay, if you don't have those donation levels pre-populated, they're going to go to a screen where they have to like type in how much they want to give. But if you illustrate for them what their donation can do, they might even increase their donation amount right there. So make it really easy for them. They'll just click on that button and it'll be added to their cart. They'll be able to check out all at once. So I would encourage you to go in, think about that. You have tons of time. Don't be sure that URL bggives.org / whatever your organization's URL is. You want to make sure that's easy to read and understand. You want to be sure you're copying and pasting that everywhere into your email campaigns and your social media. Put it on your website once the challenge starts. You might want to replace, if you have like a donate now link on your website, you might want to add that there. Say if you want to give during the challenge, be sure you're using this link. Keywords, those are search terms, just help donors find you. And you think about different keywords like animals, education, children, health, things like that. You can be more specific. Those are just examples. But if donors are, a lot of donors maybe want to give to a certain type of organization, like in a certain category, but they don't really know who to give to. That's something that you can make easy for them. I will do a separate fundraiser for a separate webinar for this on the peer-led fundraisers. There is a handout available on bggives.org for fundraising pages. If you dig around there, you'll be able to see a step-by-step instructions for that are provided to us by Neon One. I'm just kind of going through this. Just be sure you know who your donors are, your current donors, your previous challenge donors, and your prospects. Be sure to incorporate them all into your strategy for the challenge. And also, please be sure you thank them. People notice, donors notice when they aren't thanked, unfortunately. I know it's a busy week, but they notice which organizations reach out and which ones don't. So I would be sure to incorporate a thank you plan into your strategy. A lot of organizations might have their board members do like a pre-event thank you, like thanks for giving in the past. can you please plan to do it again this year? Here are our goals. Here's the matches we're going after, things like that. And then have a quick plan set up for during the challenge, and then after the challenge, how you're going to thank those donors. Like during the challenge could be an easy thing. Like you'll be able to export all those donations. You'll be able to just like copy and paste those emails into Outlook or whatever you use, and just send a quick thank you note to those donors and as the challenge is going on, but then have you can send like a thank you postcard or something after, pretty inexpensively. I want to pause and say, are there any other questions before I have like 3 minutes? I'm so sorry, I have a 12:20 and it's 30 minutes away, so I have very limited time. But the other thing is, I already touched on this, we try to make matches for different giving amounts. We kind of try to look at those and say, one is dollar for dollar up to 50. One is those $25 gifts. That's the endowment challenge. We have $250, $1,000. That could be like the Mitchells. So we try to make sure we hit different giving amounts. And I would say, look at your donor list and try to align those donors with those giving amounts and see how to best strategize there. Let's see, I'm just going to go to the end and just share information of how to get in touch with me. And I'm going to wrap this up. I don't see any more questions here. So be on the lookout. I will upload this to, as I said, to YouTube. I will also send out another webinar link for probably Thursday, October, that second week of October. I'll be on fall break next week. So we will start doing like a quick weekly webinar after that date. So I'll send out an invite for that, and we'll dig into what we didn't get to cover today. And then we'll dig into those toolkits and other fun tools like email marketing tools, social media strategies, things like that. So we try to make it really easy and provide all the information we can get to you. If you have any issues with the site or questions with the site, there is that blue support button in the bottom right-hand corner of bggifts.org. And that's Neon One. It sends them an email. They have a really great ticketing system. They always get back to you within like a day or so. They're really responsive and helpful. Be sure you're following us on social media at BGCFKY. That's on Facebook and Instagram. We're also on TikTok. That's kind of just what we do for fun, and we create fun videos there that we can share on Facebook and Instagram as well. But be sure you're following us there. We will start posting about the challenge more as we get more into fall. And then again, look at those Good Giving Challenge hashtags from previous years. You can get lots of good ideas for how to create content. So anyway, I think that is the end of my presentation for today. Thank you so much for your time. You will hear from me. I will send those matches and the slides and this webinar out tomorrow. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, please reach out. My email is lauren@bgcf.org. Like I said, I'll be out next week, but you can reach Courtney@bgcf.org in the meantime. And good luck. Take a look at those toolkits if you haven't already. This year, I think, is going to be our best year yet. I say that every year, and every year it's true. So we are here to help. If you have any questions, please reach out. And best of luck. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.